The other thing is, it's absolutely unthinkable for a first-century rabbi in ancient Palestine to believe that marriage was between anyone except a man and a woman. That's exactly what the Hebrews believed. That's what they taught from the Torah. And Jesus challenged them, though, because they were trying to give him a trick question about marriage. And Jesus said, no, you need to understand something. Because of your hard hearts, God gave an allowance for divorce. But you are to honor the wife of your youth. Then he goes on to say, for this reason, a man shall leave a father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. You see, many people have made sex the cake. Dr. David Siemens from Asbury said, sex is not the cake. Sex is only the icing on the cake. Now, I'll confess to you, I like icing. Icing's a good thing. But it's not the cake. And too often we want to make sex everything. Here's where the culture really messes up. We make sex our identity. Sex is never to be your identity. It's never to be who you are. It's never to be how you identify yourself. That's never how God designed us. You're made in the imago Dei. You are made in the image of the living God. You are beautifully and wonderfully made, the psalmist tells us. And you're a son or a daughter of God. That's who you are. That's your identity, to be a son or a daughter of God. Therefore, you're an heir with Christ for all that God has for you. That's your identity. That's who you are in light of Christ. Sex is just a byproduct of your physical body on earth. I got some bad news for some of you, and you're going to go out here really upset. We won't need sex in heaven. I know some of you are like, dang, Pastor Charles, that is some messed up news. I didn't know I was going to get that news today. You won't need to procreate. In heaven, you will be there with God, transformed in your body into the likeness of Christ. That's why the issue of marriage is not going to be that big of a deal. That's why Jesus said you'll be known, but you won't be as you are on this earth as husband and wife. I don't believe for a minute that doesn't mean you're not going to know people, but I don't believe you're not going to need to know them as you did on earth. You'll be fully complete in the presence of Christ. But you see, our identity is not in our sexuality. It never should be. Our identity should be in God and who we are in light of Christ. I take that as an amen. And you see, I believe this image of God is fully reflected in man and woman.